Hello travelers, Tara here, and these are going to be starting the elemental readings. So this is going to be for elemental earth. It will cover the signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Happy birthday, Taurian sons. Those of you website members, when I sent out my newsletter the other day, I was remiss in telling you that the individual readings are already posted on the website. I'm going to be starting on the romance and relationship readings tomorrow to have those uploaded for you. Also, until May 15th, I'm running $10 off for the 1 hour reading. So this is for both non-members and members. So members, if you want your 1 hour reading, simply log in, go to the tarot products section of the members lounge, and you'll find the link there to go ahead and book. Do not forget that you get an opportunity to earn free readings when you refer a friend. This is for members and or non-members. So this is a reading of equal value. So let's say if you refer your sister and she buys a 45-minute reading, they have to book and keep that reading, okay? And then you get to earn yourself a free 45-minute reading. So that is up for members. That link for the to forward the page or that information to your friend or your family member, that link is in the members lounge, okay, under the What's Hot section. Now, we are in, I think, a very pivotal time because of the patterns that are happening in the sky. Right now, we have Saturn, the South Node, and Pluto all in the sign of Capricorn. Because Capricorn is so heavily affected, and the reason why I say heavily affected is because of the two planets and the points that are there, the South Node, Saturn, and Pluto. So there is a correlation or an energetic pattern which is known as a trine. So that means that Taurians and Virgos are also going to be influenced in some way. But this is not just on a personal level. This is on a global level. Also in the sign of Taurus, we've had Uranus just making his entrance. He made his entrance and then he left, and then he in March, I believe, and then he went back into Aries, and now he's back in Taurus. That's a 7-year transit. So as I say to you, excuse me, whenever the outer planets make moves, this is when you really want to pay attention, because there's going to be a major shift on a global level. And what happens on a worldwide scale will eventually trickle down and touch you on a personal scale, okay? So with that said, I've already posted up that first article on the Pluto-Saturn South Node conjunction. I've got another article that's coming for you. I've got to do a bit more research, and I'm putting it all together for you. But for those of you website members who have your Roman Gods ebook, go in there and read the myths about the planets. Saturn was the father. Okay, Uranus was the father. All right, he was the original god, and then what his son was Saturn, and then Saturn usurped Uranus. Okay, and so overtook him and became king. But then Saturn had children. He had 3 girls and 3 boys. Pluto and Jupiter are brothers, and they are the sons of Saturn. So right now, Pluto and Saturn are sitting next to each other. Okay. And then you have Jupiter, who is also retrograde in his own sign. Saturn is in his own sign of Capricorn. Jupiter is in his own sign of Sagittarius, but he is also retrograde. So they're making patterns. Jupiter, Uranus are all making patterns to Pluto, the South Node, and Saturn. See, Jupiter and Uranus, yeah, are all making patterns to Pluto, the South Node, and Uranus. So, that might be a bit confusing for you, but I can promise you, if you're paying attention to any of the news, no matter where you're getting your news from, you're seeing things happen. You may not understand what's happening. You may not know. We definitely don't know the outcome, But all astrology is the study of cycles and patterns. So when we see cycles and patterns like this occurring, we go back with our ephemeris to see the last time we saw the same patterns. And that's going to kind of give you a clue as to what could happen in the future. So that we're in a very, very pivotal time right now on a worldwide scale. So with that being said, this is a general reading, and the messages will not resonate with everyone. So please take what you can, disregard what you cannot. And we're just going to get directly into the reading. I will be clarifying with the playing cards, perhaps these Levitas Abilis if necessary. And you'll get an opportunity to wrap the reading up with an angel answer card. I'm doing a 7-card spread. Here we go. Oh, upside down. I think my whole deck's upside down. It is. There's the World card at the top. Now, this is a Saturn card, okay? But it also says you're at the end of a cycle, all right? 3 of Cups. 3 of Wands. So now I have 2 threes. 2 threes can mean a small but pleasant surprise, but 2 threes can also mean excessive flirting and cheating. So we shall see. Typically, this is 2 things coming together to make a third thing. 4 of Wands. 2 of Swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's our Hangman. Actually, this will not be 7 cards because that's 6. Okay. So we're going to lay another row of cards. There's Uranus. So already we have Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus here. The 9 of Swords. Oh, wow. There's another Saturn card, the Devil, or the Chains card. Last card down, King of Wands. So, for some of you, this is a king of fire sign male, whether same-sex or heterosexual, but this may also represent a boss, okay? But this person, I think, is very important. There's our cards. And we have 2 threes, a 4, a 2, and a 9. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana cards. This is the cycle. This is the starting point. What is happening right now is this 2 of Swords. Over the reading is the 7 of Wands. And in a sense that, in a way that kind of makes sense. And I'll explain that to you in a moment. It is this bottom row. I just don't like the way that actually starting from the 2 of Swords over to the Devil card. Well, I don't even know what to say to you about this, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to read these cards. We're going to read the meanings. Then we're going to clarify. This is... Now, again, please keep in mind, this is general. I'm reading for 3 zodiac signs. To gain any clarity or insight on your situation requires a personal reading. This is where I take your birth date, your sun sign, and the birth date and sun sign of the other person or the other people. Only 3. Can't do more than 3. and I look at it for you. And it's important that I use the birth sign and the birth date, because then I can pinpoint you in the collective. This does not look good. It does not feel good. So my question is to the cards: what is and who is and how does this King of Wands play out? Let's start with the cards. The World card. And sometimes when the cards appear, they present like this, and it's difficult for me to kind of understand what they're saying. Once I start giving you the meanings, then the story comes to me. Okay? So the World card. It says, a new cycle of spiritual growth arrives after a static period. A sudden turn of events will send your life in a new direction. Now this tells you that all good things are within your reach. Attainment of goals, happiness, and recognition. But something happens, something goes awry. 3 of Cups. And for some of you, you may already be in this. For others of you, this may have already started. For others of you, you're in the middle. For the rest of you, this is coming up in the month of May. 3 of Cups. You will have an opportunity to move away from an unproductive emotional situation. Success, celebration, and abundance will soon arrive. You are moving out of a mental fog into a cycle of seeing things clearly. Now, that's twice we are being given the indication that you're moving out of a cycle. You're moving towards success, achievement, recognition. You're perhaps gaining some clarity on what it is that you should be doing. I would say that for some of you, this is the idea that there is a recognition or perhaps a break around some type of relationship. I don't know what kind. 3 of Wands. This is our Jinn. You guys hear me talk about the Jinns all the time. It says, you are building a firm foundation. More patience and planning are needed before all the pieces are in place. This is about the power of experience. So this is why I think that it's saying to you, you're coming out of this cycle. The experience that you gained for whatever it was you were in before, you're finally figuring out how to take the power of that experience and perhaps work it to your advantage. But something happens. Here's the 4 of Wands. It says a well-earned, restful pause in your life is near. A new love or business is possible. This is a time for celebration of success. We see that. The first 4 cards are telling us all of this. But something happens. And as I said, this 2 of Swords is right in the middle. The 2 of Swords says, there is a stalemate where neither party nor side has the power to win. The underlying tension will not allow anything to change for some time. So obviously there's a conflict. Maybe there's news. That's what the 2 of Swords say. Maybe you were moving ahead with something. You got that power of experience behind you. You're moving ahead, and then suddenly things change. Because here's the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man says there's a lot of frozen energy here. A lot of slow moving energy. Right? The World card, the 4 of Wands, that's a stability to it, a stagnancy, a security around it. But something changes this. Okay, the Hanged Man card. Everything is frozen. A barrier in your life keeps you from moving forward. Living through tremendously stressful conditions, but managing to survive by waiting for the right time. But then suddenly that crap just collapses. I don't know what this is. Earth signs. Something collapses here. Now, this card says and it's big. Devastating events will soon turn your life upside down. Someone who appears one way but hides a very different inner personality. This card also says that events are out of your control. This card is about bringing the truth to light or revealing necessary changes before reaching the critical stage. So if there's something that's been going on with you, everything seems to be going okay, and then suddenly you hit a snag, okay, it's the Two of Swords. I don't know what has happened here, because the Nine of Swords tells, and just because something says devastating events, it doesn't mean like anything traumatic. It could just mean simply the devastating event could be the fact that you were expecting this thing to culminate and to be completed with it. You were working on it. It got all the way up to that point, and then suddenly the rug's been pulled out from under you. Okay? That's devastating, particularly if you put in a lot of planning and a lot of strategy and a lot of work. That's what Saturn represents. Saturn is the taskmaster. How hard are you willing to work to achieve the things that you want to achieve? Right? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to buckle down and just do it, even though it's crappy? Right? So this is what something changes this whole situation. Nine of Swords. So it's not always something terrible, okay? It could just mean it's something unexpected, and the surprise nature of it has consequences that make it seem like the world has collapsed around you. Pieces of the sky have fallen. That's our Uranus card. Nine of Swords. If you have broken karmic or secular laws, expect to pay the price. Now this says, look closely at your plans as something is not to your benefit. Now, I would dare say, for some of you, that devastating events is going to come in and change. It may not be that. You might be able to avert this, or at least take a look at it, because it says events are out of your control. You may not be able to control exactly what's happening, right? And maybe it does collapse. But the Nine of Swords tells you to come in and take a look. Something is not to your benefit. So I get the sense that for some of you, you might be able to avert that. All right? Here's the Devil card, the Chains. Now, this is interesting. It says, a backlash from negative acts could be near. Learn to control negative impulses. This card always warns against obsession and illusion. Well, this is the card of illusion. Okay? Sometimes this is everything is frozen. So if the illusion that everything is frozen and nothing, that's an illusion, because you still have the power of your brain to kind of figure your way out of this thing. Now, sometimes this is about other people trying to control you, right? Maybe you have gotten into more debt than you wanted to. Maybe you've signed a contract that you shouldn't have signed. Maybe you are fearful of actually fixing this situation or looking at the truth of it. Because sometimes this is what this card is about. This could be the idea that whatever it was that you thought was solid and secure and a sure thing wasn't. And that's also an illusion, because nothing is promised. So here's this King of Wands. And I want to kind of take a look, because he says, and I'm going to look at this King of Wands. The King of Wands says, advice from a powerful businessman can help you make a decision. Unexpected good news helps you move forward with your plans. Now, the meaning of this Seven of Wands, it's almost as if whatever this thing was that you were trying to overcome has come back around. You are now in a strong position to carry your dreams and desires to success. You have faced adversity and won. But I would dare say that you're moving along, maybe you're clipping along at a good speed, and then bam, something out of the blue puts everything and a halt. I don't know what this is. First card I'm going to do, I'm going to take a look at these this Two of Swords here. Because I think what happens is you're kind of stopped in your tracks, and then you have to go back over and look at whatever this thing is. Now, it's not the end of the world. It may seem like that to some of us. In one respect, from here over to the Devil card, there's a defeatist kind of a feeling coming off of this. Like once this occurs, you feel so defeated that you just like, I can't do anymore. Well, but Saturn says you can. Okay? I don't know what this thing is. I want to first take a look at this Two of Swords. In the center, Five of Hearts, Seven of Spades. That's like a Seven of Swords. And then there's the Eight of Wands. Wow. I want to take a look at these three cards across the bottom. The Tower, the Nine of Swords, and the Chains card. Because there's like this bottleneck energy right along in here. You know, there are no coins here. So I don't necessarily think this is per se a financial issue for you. They're cups, they're swords. There are no wands here, except over the top of the reading and this king. This is cups, swords. Oh yeah, there's a wands card right there. And the rest are major arcana. And the major arcana just fall together. You know, this could be the idea that the industry in which you've been working all these years has changed. Maybe you just got a promotion and suddenly you get the news that, you know what? Company's closing down. But don't forget, you have the power of experience. Jack of Diamonds, financial news. These are like pages. Two of Diamonds. Wow. And the Two of Spades. Well, I gave you the meaning of the two threes. Let me give you the meanings of the two twos. Okay. That's not very good, those two twos. Two twos is abundant news. But it comes out of the blue. Okay? Now, the Jack of Diamonds. Well, first we're going to start with the Five of Hearts. The Five of Hearts says jealousy and ill will from people around you. Well, that kind of makes sense. Maybe you were moving along, you know, and then suddenly somebody's preventing you or stopping you from moving forward. Yeah, that happens in real life. So, you know, people don't want to see other people get ahead. Two-faced. See the two faces? Remember, this card says someone who hides a very different personality. This is somebody I think that you work with who's around you. The Five of Hearts, I just read that to you. Jealousy and ill will from people around you. With the Seven of Spades, it says advice best not taken. It speaks to a loss. There is an obstacle to success, and this indicates that the obstacles may be coming from within you. A stalemate. Neither party has the power to win at this time. So that freezes the situation. Here's this Eight of Clubs. The Eight of Clubs says work and business problems that have to do with jealousy. I think there's somebody hidden from you that you don't know who it is yet. Right? This is about revealing the truth of the situation. Who is it? You have the key. You see, somebody else, you think that If you know who this person is, you think that this person holds the key to keeping you down. But that, my friend, is an illusion. Jack of Diamonds. This is some kind of financial thing. The Jack of Diamonds, now I want you to listen, says a youth or someone younger. He also brings messages. It says possibly somebody who wears a uniform. A jealous person who may be unreliable. This person brings news generally negative but minor. With the Two of Diamonds, it says a business partnership, a change in a relationship, or gossip. Maybe this is the idea that suddenly, out of the blue, those devastating events, you find out who it is that's been talking about you. Okay? Maybe this person was a friend. Maybe it was a business partner. Maybe this is a romantic situation. I don't know. The Two of Spades. Breaks in the relationship. Deceit. A break in an important process. It says if this is about this, you recognize this is about a particular romantic interest, this is considered a warning card that infidelity or separation is quite likely. I'm going to look now with the La Vida Sibilas at this King of Wands. So this is telling me on one level that for some of you, you're having problems at work. Maybe you don't know why you're having those problems. Everything seemed to be okay, and then suddenly bad things start happening to you. It's like a cross condition, but it's not. It's actually somebody who's working against you. Okay? Just when you thought everything was clear and working out fine. King of Wands. The Gran Consolazione. The Letterato. And the Allegrezza al Cuore. For some of you, this tells me that this King of Wands is going to be somebody who is very, very important to you. This individual perhaps can help you. This person is successful, or maybe they themselves are looking for a new business partner or a new partner. Okay? Somebody who, the Letterato, the discovery, the man of letters of science. This is somebody who knows their shit. And born out of that is a real, I think, success. This is another Three of Cups to me. This is happiness and celebration. So no matter how this is playing out for you, you know, I would caution you to be careful, to, you know, and then consider the source. Right? Consider the source. But I dare say that there's somebody working against you. Okay? Most definitely. They're trying to prevent you from either succeeding or trying to prevent you from moving forward with your plans. And I dare say, oh, did I read these cards to you? Yes, I did. I dare say that for some of you, you have been a bit perplexed as to what has happened or when this appears, right? For some of you, this is an early warning. It's letting you know that there's somebody that's out against you. So you can expect that. So what does the devil say? The devil says, look through the illusions. Why are you going to be obsessed with that crap? You know, misery loves company. What you got to do is determine whether or not you're willing to expend energy in battling against that person or figuring out a way to get around them. The best revenge is living well. Here's your card. Perfect timing. There's your card. And maybe the cards are saying that this reading came about at the perfect time for you. But this could also be the idea that whatever this thing is, maybe it's designed to stop you in your tracks for a real reason. Okay? Maybe you're about to make a mistake. If you break karmic or secular laws, maybe this is some kind of hidden past life enemy. Sometime that crap happened. Perfect timing. The card says, if I can find it, This is a perfect timing for the situation you've asked about. Move forward with confidence. Do not delay or hesitate because an energy gateway is presently open for you. Conditions are ripe. Even if you don't feel prepared, rest assured that you are, because you have the power of experience already with you. That's what I have for you, Earth signs, for May. If you're interested in a reading, simply click on the eye. That'll take you directly over to the website. Go to tarot readings on the main menu. Click that little arrow next to that. It'll pull down the menu. And if you don't want the $10 off the hour-long reading, I have readings from 20 minutes all the way to 90 minutes. So until next time, namaste.